There you go.
Right. Okay. Welcome, everyone, to Connecting Community Initiative Committee meeting, November 13th, 2025 at 6:31 p.m. And Lily, would you read the prelude,
Well,
please?
I would be delighted.
You.
I would like to share with everybody here that certain meetings normally held at municipal offices being held remotely with adequate alternative means of public access and where required public participation provided in accordance with House Bill number 62 of the 194th General Court, which extended the governor's March 12th, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the Open Meeting Law, Mass General Laws, Chapter 38, Section 20 until June 30th, 2027. And our meetings are typically rebroadcast on Frontier Community Access Television and are available on YouTube. Maybe. I don't know if FCAT's been allowed back on YouTube.
Oh, yeah. Good question. I haven't
Does
seen
anybody
anything.
know? Does
All
Tim
right.
know?
Yeah, I haven't usually. Hey, Julie. Usually things pop up on my YouTube feed because I do check, but I haven't seen anything lately. So maybe we should check on that. I don't know, Alex, can you check on that?
Is that the town feed or the FCAT feed?
No, town feed, because it goes, all
Right.
of our
No,
Our
meetings.
it's the
YouTube,
it was the FCAT one I thought that got banned, or is it the town?
No,
the
it was
town
YouTube.
one.
Yeah, through
Oh.
YouTube. I mean, which is put on YouTube. So that all of our videos go to YouTube. That's why I watch them, all the select board meetings and different things. So anyway, thanks, Lily. I do appreciate the vocal variety and passion that you put into reading them. Very nice.
We do have a new YouTube
All
channel,
right.
so I'll check and make sure
Oh,
that the
Okay.
subscribers from the old list, if we can access it, can get noticed. But we
Yeah.
that would
I
be
know.
good. Yeah.
precarious.
Lily,
Yeah.
I
next
would hope
next
so.
time with some music, please.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. All right. Yeah, we'll have a little tune. All right. Okay. So meeting guidelines, please speak one at a time, follow Deerfield Code of Conduct, be respectful, considerate, courteous, concise, non-repetitive, and raise your hand when you want to speak, please. All right, roll call. Jim Cambias?
Cambia's here.
Here. Julie Chalfont?
I am here. I'm gonna have to leave at 7 though, so if I ditch it, that's why.
Okay. Okay, I'll have you give your report early too then. Okay, so Lily, you're here.
I am.
Tim, here. Andrea, she's here. I'm here. Christopher, no. MA is here. Pete Law is here. Alex is here. Carolyn's here and Annalise here. The only one missing is Mark Brennan, and I said Carrie Etchells is not here this evening. All right, so I'm going to start off with approving the minutes from October 16th, 2025. Has
I
everyone had a
make that
chance?
motion, Carolyn.
Okay. Do I hear a second? Any?
Second,
All right. Okay. Any additions, corrections?
Oh, somebody undid the link that I had in there so that they're not linked to it anymore, but I will fix that in.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Denise, when she sent the reminder, it was in the reminder.
I'm just saying in the agenda itself.
Okay.
I convert the rizzle snizzle bizzle bits into a hot link that actually says minutes.
Okay. Sorry.
Okay. All right. So we're voting on the minutes. Everything's good.
Yeah.
Everything's cool. Okay, we're going to move on. Okay, so I'm going to ask for MA to give her report first, and after that, I'll go on to Tim and then Julie. So MA.
Yes, Energy Committee is continuing. We're starting to work on the Frontier building management system for the spring green communities. We were hoping to make the fall, but there was a little mix up in relation to reporting from communication between the accountant, the new accountant and the old accountant. So then we didn't get everything was in, but the money records weren't sent. So I think that's all straightened out, but it put us off until spring for Frontier. But we'll have it done. It's basically exactly the same as the elementary school one. So that shouldn't be a problem. We're getting ready to submit the decarbonization roadmap, which would take us, that application is due November 28th. And that will, if we receive that, then that'll give us 4 of the 6 requirements for And it'll also help with the CIPC work that is doing and also the Finance Committee. That's pretty much it for us.
Okay, great. Does anyone have questions for MA?
I was just wondering,
Raise your hand.
MA,
Raise your hand. Carolyn?
yes, I was just wondering, MA, what were you gonna do with Frontier? What projects?
Yes, the Green Communities application for the spring, because we finished the elementary school building management system.
Mhm.
And so we're going to be doing basically the exact same application for Frontier for that. So it'll be some weatherization stuff, some and upgrading, putting a new building management system in, which is very outdated and doesn't really work right now. So we've
So it
been
should
working.
be, so it should reduce the operating cost, right?
Absolutely.
Okay,
But-
good.
But not compared to what we'd like to eventually do is put in a system and a application for both of the buildings that will where they'll really connect the heat pumps, the mini splits that are in the classrooms, so they're not competing with the heating systems, and really get that coordinated better. And that's an additional system that needs to be put in so that they can all communicate much better.
Lily?
You said building management system. Is that the HVAC management? Because building management is a very broad category.
It's yeah,
HVAC.
yeah.
Okay. I mean, just one question. You may not have the answer. So you said there will be a cost savings. Do you have any idea what percentage? No. Okay. It's just anything
No.
is better than.
I think that I mean Ted Harvey and or David may well have that information. I do not.
Okay, that would be
I
interesting.
mean,
Maybe for
it has
next
to
time.
go into it'll be part of the application as to what the savings is. But
Okay.
it'll be more than the savings from the elementary school, obviously, because it's bigger.
Right. Okay, great. Thank you. All right. If no other questions, I'll move on to Tim.
Yeah, so some of the things I may talk about, Alex may talk about later, but I'm going to do it very lightly. Last night at the select board meeting, I brought up plans for solar on the town, new town building, the municipal offices. The select board has, we allocated ARPA money to the project. And so the thought is to use, originally we were going to use the ARPA money to pay the architect, but if we use the ARPA money to pay for solar panels, we can use USDA funds and or CPC funds to pay the architect. And this would give us a mechanism to have the finances to do that. Christopher Dunn is going to work with Alex, and we're looking to find someone to help us develop RFPs for both the town office building and the library. The library doesn't have an ARPA funding source, so we will obviously have to figure out how we would pay for those. We have had some preliminary work done that suggests that solar panels on the library would cut the electrical energy usage by cover about 50% of what the projected usage is.
Wow.
What that means in dollar terms depends on what the price of a kilowatt hour is. And but I think that the RFP that would be hopefully developed by somebody who specializes in energy RFPs. Alex, you may remember there's a woman that has worked at FERCog, or she helped us on the solar panels on the landfill, but she may not specialize in rooftops. So this is something that we're going to try and find a rooftop solar
Are you
person.
talking,
You have your hand up,
I'm
but you haven't been
sorry, MA.
recognized.
Yeah.
are you talking about Beth Greenblatt? She helped with the,
Yeah,
with
she's
the-
the one that we may or
Yeah.
may not be able to use, Beth, because she may or may not know about small solar rooftop
yeah, I
arrays.
don't know, but she's not at FERCog. She's an
Yeah,
independent.
I recognize that I said that in
Okay.
error. So thank you for sharing
So
that.
one additional question. The, if you have, I don't know whether municipalities qualify for this, but if you have a heat pump or you have an electric heating system, Eversource is giving a new and much reduced rate. And so do the library and the 1888 building, will they qualify for that reduced rate?
Unclear. I mean, you're talking about like the residential November to April electricity and delivery charge rate. I'm not sure that municipalities are included in that. Although both buildings have air source heat pump
Right.
as their
Hmm.
source of heating and cooling. There is also the possibility, I talked with Northeast Solar about our interest in developing these RFPs and to determine whether they were DCAM certified, because you need to be DCAM certified in order to be awarded a contract with the municipal government. And I will answer your question as soon as I'm finished my sentence. They suggested, yes, they are DCAM certified. They would be interested in putting in an application, and that there might be still up to 30% of solar credits available to municipal programs for another 2 years. So if that's in fact the case, it behooves us moving forward sooner rather than later.
Right.
And the RFP for the library would have to be brought to spring town meeting. And it would be part of, all of this would be presented to CIPC. So I don't know how long it is going to be for us to find somebody to help us develop the RFPs, but I would hope that we would be able to get the town municipal office 1888 building part of this done while that project's still underway once the roof is built, so that the building would immediately have access to this energy when we start using it.
Nice.
Excellent. That's really good news.
Okay, Lily and then Jim.
Yeah, so my question is, I believe all the CPC funds were for historic preservation, so probably can't be used for solar.
Right. That's why the ARPA money would be used for solar.
Okay, I thought you said you could
No,
tap.
ARPA is at the
Oh, so you
discretion
can
of
use
the
them to
select
pay
board.
the architects.
Right. We
Okay.
were going to use it for one thing, but by shifting it, we didn't designate what the money was going to be used for. We just said we're going to designate this ARPA money to the 1888 building project. There's still a considerable amount of that money that hasn't been spent, paid out. So we would use CPC and or USDA money to pay the architect. Both of those are sources that would qualify for paying for this. So that's the plan there.
Thank
Of
you.
course, this will be discussed again once the RFPs are done. So there'll be probably several select board meetings where this is discussed, and welcome anybody who wants to come and participate in that. Ultimately, the town offices might not have as big an offset, but that's to be determined by what can be put on the buildings. And the 1888 building project is going ahead quite well. There were a few delays related to engineering reviews of things that were discovered when walls were removed. But we're reaching the end of the old building tear down, and so pretty much everything that's was covered up has been uncovered and identified, and architectural and engineering changes have been put in place. So shortly the wood structure for the new building should start going up. finished a fair amount of, I think there's just a few more cement concrete pourings that have to be done for the supports to carry the glass connector in between the buildings. So once they've got the new building exterior put up, they'll start racing through that. MA has a question.
I believe Co-op Power is also DCAM certified, just in case you want to get a couple of bids.
Oh yeah, we'll have to put this out through the public
Right.
bidding system. So it'll be open to anybody, but if you know them and they're a good company, when the RFP comes out, make sure that they're aware of it.
Okay, we'll do.
I mean, Northeast Solar, I think is too, Northeast Solar is, I think PV Squared is, but.
No, actually, I'm sorry, I misspoke. It's PV Squared I was thinking of, not Co-op Power.
Yeah.
Forget that. They aren't.
So, and you know, anybody who's qualified can obviously apply. That's really, I think, one thing that a constituent asked us to put in some bollards, barriers around the Bloody Brook Memorial. There had been bollards there before, but when the last truck or car drove through and smashed into that, they weren't replaced. They have been replaced, I believe. Matthew Morse, the DPW, took care of it quickly, and we're waiting for reflective materials to be placed on those. Hopefully that will help make people aware when they turn the corner that the road is a sharp corner and will steer them in the right direction.
Good to know.
That's about it.
Okay. Any other questions for Tim? Jim? Sorry.
Tim, could you?
Can you speak up just a little? You're a
Sorry,
little low.
Tim, could you contact me when the select board is planning to address this so that I can forward that to the trustees?
Well, absolutely. Yeah, I think Alex will probably know this sooner than I will.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll make sure that the library is in on the discussion, and I plan to mention it at the library building committee meeting that's coming up next week.
Right. Okay. All right. Thanks, Tim. Julie, since you've got to leave in about 12 minutes.
I honestly don't have much. We haven't, neither committee has met since the last time we met, other than at town meeting. I'm working behind the scenes a little bit to try and get some of this stuff on the capital improvement plan, not just stuff for next year, but stuff for the out years to start doing placeholders for it. So I've been reaching out. I reached out, MA sent me some studies that had sort of preliminary estimate costs for various building upgrades. Does anybody know, has there been an estimate for putting solar on the wastewater treatment plant, the South Deerfield?
There has not.
Okay. That's about it.
That's
It
it.
is the biggest users though, so it's a good idea to do it.
Yeah, no kidding. That would be good. All right, let's see. Well, that was a short one, Julie. Okay, how about Anna Lee? What's going on, Anna Lee, and Historical Commission?
True confessions, I missed the last meeting, but our agenda was pretty brief, and so I'll pass and give you more of an update next time. Sorry.
That's okay. Don't be sorry if you don't have an update. You don't have an update. You can hear what everyone else. And just before I'm going to move on to Carolyn, just before I do, please, I know I've said this before and I haven't reminded people, when you go back to your committees, please share with them what is going on. That's sort of part of the purpose of CCI is to share that so people can't say, well, I never heard anything. Well, if you come to at least one meeting, you might hear something. Lily?
I just wanted to say, because he's been on the CPC, that for the Historical Commission, Ben Benson is now your chair, right, Annalee? That might be an update to put in.
Yes, I think that
Yeah.
was from our last meeting, but yes, Ben Benson is our chair now. Yes. And
Okay.
we do have a new member, Jeannie McAvoy, I think is her name.
Yes.
Yes, and that was exciting because we had I think it was 3 or 4 different people who were interested who applied, and so we now have 2 alternates, and yeah, it's cool. What we'd really love to happen is have something split off into the cemetery committee, which we don't have one. So if anybody wants to spearhead the cemetery committee, it's a real lively group, I think.
Well,
Bring out your dead.
that's tempting, but I'll have to say no right now. But thank you. Okay, Carolyn.
With the government shutdown, there's no new real information on the status of our PL 566 phase 1.
You
But
know what?
hopefully,
Okay, you taught it. Not everyone knows what PL5.
okay,
I don't even
PL
know I'm on the committee.
566 is a small watershed program through USDA. 20% of any of the project has to be related to agriculture, and it has to be 250,000 acres or smaller, and we qualify. So anyway, hopefully the Amherst State Office will open pretty soon, and Darren Davis can coordinate with, he's our state engineer, with the USDA and NRCS, and so he can coordinate with GZA and field geologies to see, to check off what we have done through the MVP process. Our request for $2 to $3 million for engineering and phase 2 is in the pipeline somewhere. No one knows what the status is of that, obviously. But we do have to finish phase 1 and get that checked off and certified before we can move on with that. The interest letter of interest was submitted to the MVP to continue our projects on the Bloody Brook. That was done by October 28th. Greg Seneger sent that in, and I want to thank Pete Law for working on that with us. So we got that in. It's very complete, and it's about $300,000 request. It's basically for increasing the wetlands capacity. Pete can chime in on this, but we're trying to do that, and we'll have fluviogeomorphologists more work on that, on the Bloody Brook, done by field geology. I did a tour of the Deerfield River watershed, 6 projects that the Franklin Conservation District did over the last couple of years. And we're hoping that that will generate into some more grants on the downside in the, where the merger of the Green River and the Deerfield and the Connecticut are, and that will hopefully help us in some flooding in the future. Because it's basically water quality projects. And then Greg, Meg, and Owen Wormser did tour the Bloody Brook area that we've been working on the campus, municipal campus. And it looks like we'll be able to get EEOA grant through the Franklin Conservation Districts to do further work and training of the DPW. We're also putting in the Massachusetts Association of Conservation Districts is putting in a grant to hopefully train our highway department on restoration work and invasive work, and hopefully removal of stuff along the Sugarloaf Blacksmith Brook. And, it's a separate little mini watershed in between Graves and Eastern Avenue. So there's a lot of stuff happening. It's just nothing to put in the bank yet, but it looks good.
Hey, Carolyn. So, training DPW, is it possible at the same time to train some younger folks? Maybe, I don't know, some kids from Frontier or something that are interested in ecology, interested in what's going on?
Yes. we sponsor Envirothon team
Mhm.
at Frontier and
Okay.
the Franklin Conservation District, and we'd be glad to do something like that. I don't know, how much interest there is, but we're trying to do stuff with the classes. Pete has done
Yeah.
some wonderful work with the elementary school.
Okay. Okay. Even if it's a couple of kids. Pete, you have a question?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I can't figure out on the computer how to put my hand up on the nice
Oh,
way
that's
with the yellow one.
real hands
Yeah.
fine, Pete.
I'm technically challenged, sorry. But yeah, Carolyn, I met with, I can't think of her name, the Conservation District.
Oh,
couple
Megan?
weeks ago.
Yeah,
Megan and
yeah.
so we talked about this section of the Bloody Brook behind the town hall up in that area.
Mhm.
And looking at a grant to get money in to do a native planting area and a training area for DPW. And not only our DPW, but if it's effective enough to open it up for Franklin County DPW so that Deerfield would become a training center for native species and native plantings for the DPW folks when they know it, and also wetland area, knowledge. And part of that was bringing in both the elementary school and the Frontier School for their STEM, programs to become involved with that as well as the training, Denise. So I don't know, Carolyn, if Megan has talked to you about that, but that was kind
Yeah,
of the concept, and it was like pretty well received. So
we put in the grant for that. We just haven't heard
Okay.
back. But
Yeah.
we've had good feedback, so I'm hoping that we'll hear, I don't know, before the holidays.
Yeah, so it was Denise to bring in, the schools to make it an educational thing as well as an educational thing for the public, but also a training area for DPW folks. So, because I've spent some time with the DPW guys and different contractors, and they need some training. That's all I'll say.
That's great.
We in September, when I went to the Northeast Conference for Conservation Districts, and we're basing this on the Delaware County, New York training, and they have a template, and we can hire them to come. They have a 400-page manual, and it was very impressive. And it was impressive in 2005 when I went out there to a conference and did a workshop there with them. And this was even more impressive. They've moved on and have done a lot more. And they have certainly a lot of experience. It's the highest emergency declaration county in the country. And they do an awful lot. So we're hoping that we can bring that training here for pretty minimal expense as a corporation thing, and then try to get our DPW more on board with and cut our costs, because every time you hire something or do something, it's really expensive. So having in-house ability and capacity is huge.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks, Carolyn. And I'll move on to Pete, but I don't know if you noticed all the applause that everyone was giving you guys. So that's great. Okay, let's see who's coming. MA is, okay. See you, MA. I know you have another event you
I
need to
do.
attend to. All right, excellent. Okay, so Pete, and so what else is going on? Continue on with you.
I do have a couple of details from the Conservation Commission, but just to set the stage here, Amy Hahn told us that we set a record for our meeting last month with the meeting packet being over 750 pages in length.
Oh my God.
So
Gross.
that's kind of what we got going on.
Oh,
And
that's painful.
yeah, trying to get through all of it is whatever, but so there's an RDA on 17 Captain Lathrop Drive, pretty straightforward one we're working on. There's an NOI at 355 Greenfield Road. We've been working with that developer for a while now. Up at Deerfield Academy, there's a new dorm going up at the West Dorm on Little Meadow Road. We requested additional information from those folks. The NOI for the DES playground has taken significant time, and we're still working through that. We just did a second emergency certification for work between Hillside Road down to Captain Lathrop Road, and then actually extending down that little tributary. If you'll find the map, it's actually listed as Bloody Brook, but it's not. But it's a tributary that comes into Bloody Brook all the way to North Main Street, and there's a lot of instructions there on that culvert on Hillside Road. It was a 4-foot, I think it's a 48-inch culvert. When we looked at it earlier this year in the summer, it only had about 6 or 8 inches of water flow available to go through there. So we did have to do some work there, and that should be going on next week. We're working on an enforcement order via the DEP at 89 Whately Road, which is not really a big deal. The homeowners are totally cooperating, and they really didn't know kind of what they were getting into out there, but that should be pretty straightforward. The Cumberland Farms detention basin has been finished off, and it looks really good. We've been monitoring that, and we'll be looking forward to getting them back on schedule with their routine reports that they owe to us every quarter or so, and we're going to hold their feet to the fire on that going forward. And we closed out other RDAs and NOIs and certificates of completion for work done on different projects. But yeah, that's kind of the half a dozen or so we got going right now. But several of these have been taking quite a bit of time to work through.
That's great. So Pete, didn't you, weren't you able to hire someone part-time to help out with?
Yeah, so the town hired a conservation agent probably at the end of August, September. Tim Eve Coles from here in town. Their family owns a tree farm going up 116 up into Conway. And he's a second year student at UMass in GIS applications. And he has been phenomenal. And I'm working with Chris Dunn and have a meeting next week for the personnel board, and hopefully take it from there to make it more of a permanent position going forward. Because right now, Conservation Commission is paying for his salary via our wetlands funds, which we bring in via all the applications, and we can do that for this year. But we hate to run through all those dollars because we use them for attorney fees and different fees as they come up. But if I know Alex has worked with Tim, I know Carolyn has worked with Tim, Matt from DPW, Chief Pachuric. I mean, Tim, I can't say enough good about him. He's really, really a strong individual. Very, very helpful to the commission.
Well, that's really good to hear, because you guys are slammed. I mean, with so many projects, it's really good to see that you've gotten some help. So
yeah,
it's very helpful. That.
Thank you.
Great.
Yeah.
Any Lily question?
I would like, as the meeting note taker, you said his name is, I know his name is Tim Coles, but you said Eves Cole, what?
EVE hyphen Coles. So it's COWLES.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
All right. Great.
I think I got that right.
Tim, question?
Yeah, I just want to second that for towns our size, it's really important to have people who have specialized knowledge to help people like Pete, who have to deal with 750-page reports, because it's easy to get overwhelmed and just hang up your shoes. And so I will definitely be a voice on the select board for finding a way to pay for this part-time position, because I think it's critical to moving projects forward. For instance, the Sunny Days just got its certificate of occupancy. And it was one of the very complicated projects that Pete helped shepherd through as the Conservation Commission chair. So anyway.
It took over 3 years to get through all the application on that one.
Well, it's going to be beautiful. I went there and toured it maybe a month ago, so it's going to be really nice. Carolyn?
That was our red light district where no one was supposed to build. Anyway, I just want to say another word for Tim, Eve Coles too. He's excellent, really good resource, and he really is sharp. Shows a lot of initiative, and I think one of the things that we need to do is to reach out to other surrounding communities and see if we could get some part-time hours for him, so we could afford to keep him on. We could be like the main employer, but then have hours of his be dedicated by other towns so we could afford a full-time position, because I think he's going to be done grad school in the spring and we want to keep him if we can.
It'd be done next spring with his master's degree. And right now he's on board for only 12 hours a week. And for the Conservation Commission, I could see, 24 hours, 3 days a week easily. But he also has, with his GIS and background expertise, things that it could help out, with Alex and the planning board, or DPW, or chief in different areas in town. But if there's other towns that could support that, yeah, I'm totally supportive of them. But thank you, Carolyn. Appreciate it.
That's great. Well, good news. Thanks, Pete. All right, Alex, what's going on in planner land?
Well, probably more than I'll remember to cover all in this minute, but I'll do my best. Okay, so I'm going to start off with kind of DPW-esque stuff. The roads and sidewalks asset management plan, that'll help prioritize which roads and sidewalks need to be fixed first. They've already finished all of the field surveying work, and so they're working on the plan documents, and hopefully have that, right after the holidays, I'm hoping. So that'll be pretty great timing, I think, for spring construction season. So just as a heads up as you're driving. There's the other road project that MassDOT let us know about too, is the Conway Road, Route 116. The bridge over I-91 is going to have a deck replacement. So that'll be unfortunate traffic situation at best. But hopefully, I'm not sure what the timing looks like on it. They just sent us plans and asked for comment. And so, it's in the MassDOT void as far as timing. The landfill solar project, they're actually going out and flagging for tree clearing and the road access tomorrow. So there'll be some flags and markings all over the landfill as early as tomorrow. Let's see. Oh, the Elm Street project, the news is no longer embargoed. We did receive the $1 million grant, and it's official, and so we're grateful to finally not have it embargoed. So it's good. Could actually celebrate that. So we'll probably be doing some more public outreach, I'd imagine, just after the holidays, and re-engaging our consultants and, really picking that up. Let's see. Oh, the Stillwater Bridge is underway. We're still going through that. Pecumtuck Rock, that'll probably be another big parcel. The largest parcel that actually is Pecumtuck Rock will probably be an annual town meeting, and I finally got all the lessees to the cell tower, to the phone tower, to everybody. I chased many rabbit holes, but I finally have meetings with the right people to be done with our Pecumtuck Rock thing. So we're still working on those exclusion areas, but hopefully we'll have that figured out.
Okay,
Sorry, Tim, do you want to go first? I probably
pause Tim first and then Andrea.
I just wanted to say that with regard to the Elm Street project, I did alert people through Deerfield Now and said that, of course, we're going to have many public meetings where residents will have input. So I know you're planning to do that, but I just wanted to let folks know that whether they like parallel parking or they like angled parking, they're going to have their chance to say so.
Okay. Andrea.
Alex, if you could please let the Open Space Committee, specifically Julie Caswell, know about the results of the Pecumtuck Rock survey. That'd be great. Our next meeting is December 8th.
Yeah, I think I'll probably end up just hanging out and come to it and give you guys an update quick. She's traveling still, right?
Yes,
so? Okay.
yes, yes.
Yeah, I'll keep you updated. I have meetings scheduled next week with Eversource and stuff to hopefully
Okay, thank you.
finish some of that. So yeah, of course. Let's see, what else? Tim mentioned the solar, kind of we're still going through and looking at that. I guess another campus development, we submitted an application to the CPA for the 1821 meeting house. So we're going to be hopefully fully shoring up the clock tower internally and externally. Kind of, it's unfortunately the last part that's not painted on the exterior at the moment, and is, it'll be fully treated anyway, and it'll be hand scraped. It'll be HEPA filters. We're gonna replace the wood trim in kind, so it'll keep and retain its historic character. And then the other part of that application was doing a structural and building systems analysis. The sanctuary floor foundation just is questionable at best. There's all sorts of rumors of how it got moved down the road, and it's got some code requirements that we'll really need to take a hard look at. So we'll have an engineer to finally really give us some tangible numbers around what that looks like. Hopefully obviously that'll be this summer after town meeting and the CPA process. But we are looking to the future of the campus. And then I think just the last couple ones, the industrial park study is underway. So there's probably traffic counters on 116 if you've seen them there, and on Elm Street, actually. They're doing an economic analysis on the Elm Street project. So we're collecting before data. The industrial park sewer study is also underway. So we're still just kind of waiting for field data to come back. And then there's a barn, the old DPW barn, just outside of New Pro or Orifals expedited permitting district. Anyways, up for sale. It's town-owned land, and so the RFP is live and available on FERCog's website. So, anyone interested in an old random barn, feel free to share, and we'll give them my name. Go ahead, Lily.
How big is that lot? It's really tiny. I mean, is
It
it just
is.
the barn you're selling or the lot in the barn?
No, so the barn is pretty much the lot. It's actually a split lot in the front. So there was an old house and
Right.
sheds and
Oh,
stuff that
yeah.
was in the front.
Mm.
That's a separate lot entirely.
Right, but it's just really so what is the town selling? That piece of land or the barn?
the barn and the land together.
Okay.
Someone else's problem to deal with, however they
So
please.
it's like less than a quarter acre, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay, thanks.
yeah. But it appraised such that we have to follow like the Cumbies procurement process. So it's like $3,000 or something ridiculous over the appraisal. So
Hmm.
anyway,
Huh.
go for it, Pete.
Yep,
Well,
Pete.
Alex, do you have any update on over by Malik's farm? It used to be Yop's greenhouses up in there. They were supposed to be
Oh,
doing something with those.
Northeast Tree Care.
Yeah,
They had
Northeast. Thank
come
you.
in just a few weeks ago, and they were just kind of settling in, but I didn't hear about any construction. Do you want me to reach out to them and ask?
Yeah, once I get to the point of any demolition and things over there, it's
Towards the
it's
wetlands,
right on
right?
they're right on the wetlands there. So I haven't
Yeah.
heard anything from them either. So just curious if you know.
Yeah. No,
Thank
I
you.
haven't heard.
All I know is that they've been mowing the lawn on the two homes. So it doesn't look like, they're two abandoned places anymore.
They did come in and share with us their intent is actually to just rent those out for now.
Good.
There's not really a viable way for us to allow them to navigate zoning and planning to separate those anymore because they'd lose the frontage for their business property.
Right. Hmm.
So
Hmm.
it's an odd one.
So,
Oh, and then sorry, do you want me to report out on CBA? They had a pretty short meeting.
yeah, actually, that would be good. Thank you.
They adopted general, just special permit conditions that were, ones that we kind of use standard, but we switch them out and out, and we've had a few questions. So we had the attorneys kind of vet some of the language we had for those, and so they've kind of shored that up. And then they have one application that had a continuance, 7 Thayer Street. It's the house, well, sorry, I should say it's the property that had the funeral home behind it. And so the special permit application is to turn the old funeral home into a 3-family unit. So the daughter and her husband and family live in the front house. The father and his wife would live in the back house and then rent out 2 other apartment spaces essentially. So there's a lot of multifamily duplexes right in that area. So
Yeah.
it's generally in the same characteristic. It was just we were waiting on just making sure we understood the non-conforming, pre-existing non-conforming structural components of it to ensure there wasn't a variance requirement. Fairly
Right.
certain there's not, but ZBA really wanted to get an attorney's opinion.
Okay, well, you're keeping busy, Alex. Does anyone else have questions for Alex? No, I'll
Oh,
move. Oh,
can
go
I
ahead.
add one more? I'm
Yeah,
sorry. I forgot. We're also doing the sewer rules and regulations. We're going through and revising those. And once we really finalize them, then we'll probably have a hearing on those and stuff like that. So if you live in South Deerfield
Well, sewer regulations are
or Old
always
Deerfield.
exciting, so I can't wait.
Riveting work.
I know. That's what I live for, Alex. Okay, Andrea.
My reports can be really short because the Open Space Committee hasn't met since October. I was in Scotland, Julie's in Japan, Chris was in Italy. So our next meeting is December 8th, but I do want to just remind everyone and thank everyone that we got Article 97 on the Steam Mill Road Forest. And so we've saved 4 of the 5 pieces of town-owned land that the state asked us to permanently save. The last one is the Pecumtuck Rock. So once we figured out all those leases, et cetera, that'll be the 5th one.
That's great. Alex, question?
No, sorry, I just had one more that I forgot.
Oh,
Sorry.
yeah.
And as Andrea spoke, I
No,
recalled.
keep going.
Just wanted to say that if you haven't checked it out, Gabby, who's our new recreation director, actually all of our programs are now online signups. You could do in person or sign up, but there has been a little bit of misinformation about that. Like, yes, we've embraced the online signups, but you are also welcome to come in and sign kids up. And through that, Gabby's also had a few families actually donate scholarships to other, youth athletes who really were asking, what options were available. And so it's just been a really cool tool and just wanted to give her a shout out. I think it's good for the community to know.
That's great. Thank you. All right. Okay, so we did Andrea. So Jim, what is happening with the library?
The move.
We want a
is
full
already
report.
started. I don't know whether it's actually starting tomorrow or whether it'll be next week. When I spoke with Candace, it depends on when the movers are available, basically. But we've blocked out the time from tomorrow through, I think it's December 20th or 19th as the move-in window when all the books will get moved in and properly shelved. And so it's happening. It's obviously we're still just going to be opening the ground floor because the elevator is probably not going to be done until February or later. So we're discussing having a soft opening when we actually start using the new facility, and then a grand opening when the second floor is accessible. Fundraising, we're at about 1.43 million of the 2 million. We're just wrapping up, finishing stuffing envelopes for a giant mass mailing to the entire town. We basically just got the whole town directory and printed out labels for everybody. So this is, rather than just appealing to people who have donated to the library in the past, we're hitting everybody. See what that brings in.
Good idea.
Yeah. We've got a GoFundMe set up. It's hasn't brought in a whole lot. If any of you want to promote it, to friends outside of Deerfield to try to bring some money into the loop, that would be great. But otherwise, yeah, so the big news is the move. And I think, let's see, Candace reported that thank you to the select board, I think, for approving the a little additional money for the external switches for the handicap accessible doors, which somehow got left off of the original design. So we will be a handicapped accessible building after all. And you know, the staff are training on all of the new systems. You know, voice over internet phones, the new air conditioning system, what to do when the fire alarm goes off, all that. And so, you know, if you want to come to the library when it opens, you know, we'll notify everybody, but it should be somewhere around December 20th. So,
Tim, you have a question, comment?
Yeah, I thought that the last communication was that the actual library opening date was January 3rd. Is that changed, Jim? Yeah, because of the holidays and
Yeah.
yes, so
that's what I heard.
you're right. The move will be finished by December 20th. I don't know whether Candace intends to open before January because, as you say, of the holidays. Some of that depends on how fast the movers move.
Candace has emailed and also put out on Facebook everything about the library and when it will open. So I think Tim was correct. I think it is January 3rd.
I think I'm working from a draft version of the
Yeah.
flyer as
Yeah.
the December 20th date, but yes, that has changed since we
Okay.
had our meeting. So,
All right. Sounds good. Any other questions for Jim? No? I'm sure we'll all be pretty excited when it opens, fully opens. Not just the first floor.
Watch your mail for the donation solicitation.
I can't wait.
I got mine
All
today.
right. Okay, thanks, Jim. Let's see, who do we have left? Lily. I never forget you, Lily. Come on.
All right, well, CPC met last night and we actually have a whole mess of applications, hallelujah. As Alex mentioned, we've got the meeting house, which we did approve, pending contingencies that they like to set up for the larger projects, like with did I see 1888? I meant 1821, the meeting house. Anyway, so the our plan, we had our last meeting on it. We held a public meeting in which people came and they voted on the specific projects as well as general categories of priorities. And in the general categories, 43 stars for recreation, 42 stars for housing. People voted with stars, by the way. 38 stars for historical preservation and 17 stars for open space. The top projects, though, were senior housing with 26 votes, an independent playground, Andrea, with 22 votes, preserve the 1821 building, 21 votes, and river access, 15 votes. So people were allowed to vote for specific projects or general categories, and everybody was given 8 stars to vote. Most of the money that has been spent by the CPA in the years that we've been collecting money and paying it out has been spent on historic preservation, and that's not changing this time either. The meeting house is asking for a big chunk of money. We have a couple of cemeteries that need attention, and the Augustus Tack painting is coming back. I don't know if some of you remember, but it was this mural that was in the St. James Church, and they're seeking funds for conserving the painting, which was badly molested and was supposed to be removed from the St. James Church, but is apparently still there. And the other biggie is that working with the Open Space Committee, the Conservation Commission is seeking the creation of a trust. And this is going to be a big deal. They're asking for a big old chunk of change. And the idea is to make them more agile in responding to opportunities that the problem with CPC grants is they're like once a year. And so that's not the way the world and opportunities arise. So, next steps, we're in our application review cycle, and we're gonna be having more cemeteries to deal with too. Tim, you have a
Tim?
question?
Yeah.
Just a quick question about the painting. How much money are they requesting, and has PVMA or Historic Deerfield put
Yes.
forward any interest in providing matching funds?
Oh,
and-
well,
No.
I don't know.
Or even
Imagine
taking the painting,
they're gonna house
and-
it, yes.
I mean,
PVMA
they would,
Yes, PVMA they're proposing to house it at PVMA.
right, but no money.
I have not dug into it, but I believe it is no money. But I think the restoration that they're asking for is $5,000.
Yeah.
Is that to study how to restore it, or is that to restore it?
That is the study how to restore it, and their Friends of Deerfield, I think, are raising money to restore it.
Yeah.
I just looked at it really fast. I haven't
Okay.
dug into it.
Yeah, Lily, I spoke with Ben Benson at the standout last Friday, and he said, yeah, $5,000 PVMA has space for it, which is interesting because when they came up before, PVMA had no space. So
They're talking about putting it in the teachers.
right.
Sure.
And also, I think Chris Harris, he's doing a lot of fundraising because guess what? It's going to cost a heck of a lot more than $5,000 since that was defaced so badly. Someone else had their hand up. Was that you, Alex?
Anna Lee
Oh,
did.
Anna Lee,
Yeah,
I'm
I
sorry.
did. Yeah, there's been some ongoing discussion at the Historical Commission, and you're right, Denise. Many thousands of dollars to get it going. I think, yeah, going only to CPC for a portion of that, but still the question remains of sort of separation of church and state.
Yeah,
Right.
that's the big one.
Well, they've really changed the application from the original submission, and they're focusing on the artist.
Right.
And he's a Deerfield artist, and he's buried here and all this kind of stuff. So that, but you're right, it is interesting.
Okay.
And
Thanks.
Tim has another question.
Yeah, Tim.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that, forgetting the subject matter, PVMA and Historic Deerfield expressed no interest in preserving this painting from this artist who is a Deerfield resident. And that's an indication to me that this is maybe a secondary thing. And I would love to give the painting to Historic Deerfield or PVMA and let them decide how to preserve it and how to, but that's just me.
Yeah.
So
do we have a local resident who's putting this forward? I mean, Chris Harris has given up his residency here.
yeah.
So I'm just curious if they have a local person that's representing this.
Well, that's a really good question. So Chris is the one who comes to the meetings, but it's owned by the Friends of Deerfield.
Mhm.
And are you still a member of that group, Tim? Or
No, when I was elected select board, I
Ah.
got off all these committees.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
So that's good that Friends is raising money.
I think
Hopefully they'll be
that's
successful.
probably much deeper conversation we can probably continue having tonight, but I think that's really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. For
But,
a bunch of
but
different reasons.
I think the net for the CPC is that there's a lot going on, and
Yeah.
to me, the really big things are the meeting house, which is really exciting,
Mhm.
and the conservation fund, which is
Yeah.
also really exciting. I mean, I have some questions about it, which I won't bring up now because they'll have it at their interview. But it's really cool. It's really cool. And we're spending our money. which is what it's there for.
Yeah. Pete?
Yeah, Lily, thank you for bringing up the conservation fund. I skipped over it on my notes, but it is kind of a big deal, and we're looking for a grant for some good size some money there. So that could be an interesting way to move forward with some things for the town. So thank you for
Mhm.
bringing that up.
Absolutely. I think it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, and the planning board did endorse that at our last meeting. So,
Awesome.
yeah.
Okay, and now for senior housing. We met with Natalie Blay and a number of people from Joe Comerford's office and Josh Cuddy, who is in Ed Augustus's office, who is the he's the
He's the
housing
housing secretary.
secretary. Thank you. Secretary is the word my brain wouldn't let me have. And it was a very good introductory meeting. It was generally positive. And they are gonna work with us on our revised request for proposals. We have begun modifying the RFP. We have removed the minimum number of units. We have expanded the economic range up to 80% of the area median income, which is the most that you can do and still get the funding from the state. I don't even think we're going to try it for federal. And we've also included the concept of studios, shrinking the space options, because we gotta get something. We did vote to endorse the climate leadership articles, as they would have elevated our pitch to the state. And so I'm not sure. I mean, it certainly doesn't make us look good in going to the state for help. But that said, any developer is still required to meet the specialized energy codes in order to get state funding anyway. So we're kind of like the worst of two worlds. We still have the requirements, but we don't have the town support, which is a shame, in my opinion. So our next steps are, we are going to finish the RFP revision and continue to follow up with the state. I do have a site walkthrough with a company called Backyard ADUs. A representative is going to walk through the site with me, because we're even talking about maybe a small cluster housing possibility, using, they're not tiny homes, but they are small homes. And Backyard ADUs builds with just, prefab units and stuff like that. Just gonna have them come and tell us if we're hallucinating. So, bye, Tim.
Yeah.
And again, for senior housing, the federal insanity is a problem. And I think our biggest job is to make sure that that we don't give up, that we don't fall by the wayside.
Never give up, Lily.
Never surrender.
Never give up.
I know.
Nope.
Alex has her hand
Yep,
up.
Alex.
Could I get an invite to the ADU, Backyard ADU guys conversation?
You sure can. I
Okay,
just checked
that would
with
be
him
great.
today. We had made the date about 6 weeks ago, so I just texted him today to see if we're still on, and I'll let you know. It's
Cool.
for Tuesday.
Thanks. And then I actually just got an email at 5:30 about our brownfields application for senior housing. And even though today's the first day federal employees are back at work, they said they're going to move it through the process next week, and they already met with EPA and they're moving it. So
Yay,
we'll see.
Alex, that's awesome. Oh, that's great though.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Something.
All right.
Awesome. That's it.
Carolyn?
has her hand up.
I just wanted to add, I forgot to add that part of the PL 566 is still, hopefully will align with so that any of the driveway structure will be paid for by the PL 566, so we can get pervious payment.
Yay.
Yeah.
All right,
We'll
that's
see.
great. Woohoo. Okay, so let's see. So I guess we've done everyone. So I've got a couple things to say. Our last planning board meeting, we had, oh God, what is it? J2K? It's J2K. Okay, come to the meeting and everything looks good. I think I did a site, I think I was the only one able to do the site, but Alex was there. So Alex and I did the site visit. We looked at the plans. They look really good. As Pete said, everything's cool with the Conservation Commission. So, but one thing that we have to meet again, we're meeting again on the 21st, a very short meeting. And that was a special permit for parking, which that got confusing. I don't know why that didn't happen, but but it looks really good. And it's interesting because I think some of their studios weren't they 600 square feet, Alex?
400.
4.
Oh,
Yeah.
4?
I think
Ooh,
4, yeah,
400.
420 maybe, and up to 780,
Was it
740.
400
can't remember.
really?
It was 400. They're
Oh, wow.
tiny.
Yeah.
Very tiny.
Well, you know what? That's not so bad. Not everyone has a lot of stuff and they want to get rid of stuff, especially as we get older. So, but so anyway, so we have that meeting, and then also we met with, I forget her name, it was from the FERCog.
Sorry, Megan Rhodes.
Thank you. Okay, yeah. She was great. So we had a really good conversation on the ADU bylaws and, how we're hoping to move forward with that. I don't think there's much more to say on that. And then, yeah, we did have a site visit for Deerfield Academy, but I think it was decided internally that it doesn't really make sense to go forward with that because we have so many restrictions from the Dover Act. So for any kind of nonprofit institution. So, and there's nothing we can do about that. Lily?
Yeah, I'm curious. I don't know what the Dover Act is, but does this mean that they're allowed to ignore our zoning and the
Well,
Conservation
yeah,
Commission
basically,
and all
yes.
this good stuff?
But
If anything they want.
well, not anything they want, because Pete was there. I was there with Pete, and no, they have to abide by a lot. I mean, certainly through the Conservation Commission, but some other stuff because they are on campus, because they are nonprofit, they don't have to abide by certain things. Okay. And as I expressed to Alex, personally, I think what they're doing is fine with the new dorm they're making. I think it is in keeping with the campus, and personally, I don't have a problem with that. Professionally, we just don't have the authority to move beyond what we can. Alex?
And Lily, if it's helpful, the Dover Amendment's MGL, so it's state law. It's not like anything we
Yeah.
can control.
And I just got a packet today and I haven't looked at it, but I think the engineers made all the changes that we've suggested when we were out on our site visit as far as the Conservation Commission and what we'd like to see.
Mhm.
So I'll have to study the plans, but
Yeah.
they responded in that way.
Yeah, and Pete was right on top of things. I was right there listening. I mean, there's a lot. I mean, that I think I'd be a lot more concerned with the erosion and the difference because I think Andrew walks that route a lot. But so that's huge. So I mean, when Pete was meeting with them, I mean, he's definitely holding their feet to the fire on that. Andrea, go ahead.
My concern is always that Little Meadow Road is a town road. And I want to make sure that townspeople have access to the road, that just because they build on a part of campus doesn't mean that they can restrict non-campus members from being there. That's my concern. Just like with Eagle Brook School and Jingle Hill Road, I just want to make sure that when the tax exempts build on townways, that the townways are still accessible by townspeople.
Well, on any of those, on that road, just walkers beware, because the kids just use it as a sidewalk. I've been down the road many times. Anyway, so that is Carolyn.
I just had one comment back to the ADUs. when you are doing, if you and Alex could just pay attention, and the whole planning board actually, is just that one of the hardest things for the ADU is that you're adding a bedroom onto septic system, because a lot of the
Yeah.
ADUs, yeah.
Yeah.
You
And
know.
so
So we're
just,
all set, and Carolyn, realistically, there aren't going to be too many ADUs for
Oh, I
anybody
know.
who's unseptic, you know, because if we wanted to do it here, we'd have to do a whole new septic to the tune of close to $50,000.
I
So,
know, it's prohibitive cost wise.
Yeah.
That's why it's not
Yeah. oh yeah, we
for
are
rural
we're,
communities. That's one of
Yeah.
the complaints
yes.
that I made with this when we met with this housing guy,
Right.
is that ADUs you just really can't do, because it's a huge cost factor. Unless you're really well off, you have to upgrade your septic.
Well, yeah, unless you're in the center of town. So yeah, no, we
Yeah.
are, believe me, we are well aware of that.
I know.
I
I just
wouldn't-
want, from an enforcement point of view, I
Definitely.
just want to make sure it's easy, because it's so hard,
Yeah.
you know.
Oh, I know. I know. That's what happens when you live in a rural community with septic tanks.
Yeah.
Okay. Pete?
And just real quick to Andrea, your point about Little Meadow Road coming down the hill. I know the plans are down at the town office, but when they did their dorm plans, their parking lot areas not on Little Meadow Road, so it'd be in by the dorm. And they're putting a walkway for the kids
Right.
on the eastern side of the dorms to make it more of a campus, to keep the kids
Right.
off of Little Meadow Road going down there. But you may want to look at the plans, because those are some good points, and I'll definitely review that as well. Probably don't have, with the conservation side of it and much to say about that, but those are good points to take a look at. But I know I saw the parking was towards the dorm for their vehicles, and there was going to be a walkway or a walking way on that part of the campus, on the inside of the campus, for the kids, to keep them off of Little Meadow Road.
Right, so I'm not so, frankly, not so concerned about the kids walking. I'm concerned about townspeople walking on the outside on the town road. I'm not really worried about vehicles. Vehicles rarely travel on those roads. It's a walking path. And from an open space person, committee member, making sure that we keep those paths open to the public are very
Right. Yeah, well, I don't think the DA police are going to kick anyone off, but
And
oh, you know what?
I have been kicked off.
Okay.
Me too.
Well,
And
I said I
okay.
can't fish there
Really?
anymore.
really irritating.
Well, then you should tell them it's a town road and then report it to DA, and yeah. Okay. You know what? I'm sorry. One thing I did forget. I forgot. I've got Carrie Actual's reports. I'll do that very quickly, and then we can probably just move on. Okay. Let's see. This is from, she's on the DES board. So we continue to work with the Conservation Commission to get the school's playground approved. Next meeting with them is 11/20. Hoping to send it out to bid in the winter for construction next summer during the federal government shutdown to provide support against potential loss of SNAP benefits. School district made a commitment to increase access to food for any students who might need it, take-home bags, food for the weekends, increasing access to free breakfast, even if they arrive late. What else? Snacks, classrooms.
I just want to point out free breakfast and free lunch are open to every single student.
Right.
Day.
Right. So this is if they come in late or whatever. Yeah. So I know Governor Healy made that
Right.
2 years ago. Okay. The last meeting, we voted to approve a handful of policies, including new policies on school meals, stating the school will make modifications as needed to meals for the students with disabilities or other special dietary needs, and parent advisory councils. 4 elementary schools in our district are trying something new this year, joint meetings between among 2 or 4 committees in an effort to reduce the total number of meetings and streamline conversations. They had their first meeting paired with Sunderland. Next week, they'll have their first meeting with all 4 communities. So far, they seem to be working well. So that's interesting. Yeah, so that's it from Carrie. So that's good. She always gives a very comprehensive report on what's going on. So let's see, we're at the end of the meeting. Are there any other things that people want to update us on? If not, let's no public, so no comment. And our next meeting will be when?
We should probably do January because
Yeah,
the
yeah.
holidays and
Yeah.
plus
yeah.
we gotta
I'm not-
let this government shutdown shake
yeah.
out.
Yeah, that's been a lot of fun.
So,
Let's look at January.
I'm not going to be available in the first half of the month, but don't let that determine your plans because I could always tap somebody else to.
Okay. All righty. I know, and as a matter of fact, I'm going to speak with Mark Brennan and see if he's still unable to make our meetings, to find someone else from the ZBA. So I will speak with him. Maybe he has some type of conflict. I don't know. I haven't talked to him in a
Well,
long time.
but maybe if Alex is a regular attendee at ZBA, then we can
Sure.
aggregate them
Okay.
as she reported. Because it's always nicer to have, the fewer people who
Yes,
put on the
I
lower
agree.
committees or whatever, right?
I
Yeah.
agree. Okay. Is that okay with you, Alex?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Okay. All right. Good. So a very comprehensive report from Alex. All right. So with January, we've got January 8th, January 15th.
How about the 15th?
Sure.
Is everyone okay with the
How is that
15th?
with that? Yep.
That's the day I get back, so I will probably
Oh.
find a replacement.
That's, well, the other option is January 8th because the 22nd is not good. So, and the 29th is too late. So,
I will be even more not, and I'm not planning to even take my laptop with me on this trip. So
okay. I don't blame you, Jim.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
do the 15th then, since we
Yeah.
won't, Jim, whichever one we do, maybe it makes sense to do it the 15th.
I'll ask around among the other library trustees.
There we
and see
go.
if you can take my.
'Cause
laptop.
Okay.
the library should be open, right?
Yes, it should be. So that will be exciting to hear.
Yes.
Okay, so we've got January 15th at 6:30, and I will send that out to everyone.
Oops, Alex
Sorry.
got her
Thank you,
hand up.
Alex.
I just checked the calendar and I think ZBA meets at 6:30, so I
Oh.
may or may not be able to be here, but I
What?
could email. Could we start at 6? Is that too much of a pain? Probably.
It's winter time. Everybody's home.
Everybody's home by 3 o'clock.
Or 6:15 and I could rattle it off and take the first 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're
all
getting
right.
ready for bed by then, but that's all right.
Oh, okay, you want to start at 6?
6,
Is
yeah,
that
Yeah.
okay with everyone?
yeah.
Yes, we'll do
okay.
6 this month. I mean,
6
for
p.m.
January.
Okay, we'll just do it for this month. Okay,
Okay.
so that sounds good, sure. We're
Awesome.
happy to
Perfect.
accommodate.
Sorry. Thank
So
you.
No,
No,
don't-
that's
don't
winter
be
time is
sorry.
probably better.
Okay, so 6 p.m. on January the
15th.
15.
Yes,
okay,
yeah.
I will line up
Okay.
a replacement.
And just to let everyone know, there's no saying sorry during these meetings. You don't have to be sorry about anything. Okay.
The
All
fact that you're here is juice.
All right, great. Hey, do I hear a motion?
I move that we adjourn.
And I'll
Second.
All
second.
right, everybody. Hey, thanks, everyone. If we don't, I'm
Thanks.
sure I'll see you guys, but have a great holiday season.
Great.
Happy New Year,
Yes.
All right.
everybody.
Woohoo.
Bye.
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 You got a minute?